The roadmap for making a life in the United Kingdom has been dramatically redrawn. In 2025, the immigration landscape hasn't just shifted, it has been completely overhauled. The requirements, especially financial ones, have risen sharply, creating barriers that many simply can't cross. The salary threshold required for obtaining a work visa has soared to unprecedented levels, effectively shutting out entire professional fields. The long-standing promise made to care workers to come, serve the UK's most vulnerable, and bring their own loved ones has been shattered for thousands. For British citizens with foreign partners, the financial cost of simply living together in the UK has escalated to a point where family unity is now a privilege, not a right. Permanent residency and citizenship, once seen as attainable goals, for dedicated migrants, are now subject to even stricter scrutiny. What we're witnessing is a colder, costlier, and more demanding system than ever before. If you're already in the UK on a visa, planning to migrate, or preparing for settlement, you must understand the game has changed drastically. In this video, we'll break down these major updates to the skilled worker visa, the health and care worker visa, family migration routes, and the journey toward indefinite leave to remain ILR. We'll show you exactly how these policies may affect your life, career, and family planning. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell for the latest UK immigration developments. Let's dive right in, starting with the change that has sent shockwaves through the professional world, the skilled worker visa. For many years, this visa served as a vital pathway for talented individuals worldwide. The rules were relatively clear: secure a job offer from a licensed UK sponsor, and ensure your role paid at least £26,200 annually or met the job-specific going rate. This figure was once considered an achievable benchmark for new skilled workers entering the UK workforce. But now, that threshold has been wiped out. The new general salary requirement has surged to a staggering £38,700. This isn't just a small increase, it's a dramatic and deliberate reset. This new bar is well above the national average income, making it unaffordable for many applicants, including highly educated young professionals. Think about junior architects, entry-level researchers, graphic designers, marketing professionals working outside London, roles essential to economic and creative growth, yet they often fall short of this new salary requirement. The message is clear: the UK is now primarily targeting high-income individuals. Potential, experience, and skill are no longer enough. Your payslip is now your passport. This shift puts employers in a tough spot. Can they still afford to sponsor overseas professionals? And for applicants, it poses a harsher question: does your chosen profession even have a future here? Now, let's turn to a more emotional shift: the health and care worker visa. Previously, this route stood apart as an exception, a symbol of welcome. The UK government ran global campaigns to recruit health and social care workers to address critical shortages. The agreement was simple: come and care for our citizens, and you can build your life in the UK with your family. But now, that promise has been split. While doctors, nurses, and some professionals can still bring dependents, care workers and senior care workers can no longer bring their family members. This single change has turned opportunity into heartbreak. It forces a painful choice: take a vital job in the UK, but leave your spouse and children behind. The justification from the government is to reduce migration numbers, but the emotional cost is profound. For those working tirelessly to support others, the reward is now isolation. This policy creates a cruel divide within the same visa category. If you're a nurse, your family is welcome. If you're a care worker assisting that nurse, your family is excluded. It's a deeply divisive move, and it sends a clear if cold message. While care work is essential, it isn't valued enough to allow for family life. Now let's talk about the third major change, one that hits directly at the heart of relationships: the spouse and partner visa. This visa category allows British citizens to bring their non-British partners to the UK to build a life together. For years, the minimum income threshold stood at £18,600, already a significant hurdle for many. But with new changes, that number is going even higher. making the right to family. The rules surrounding family reunification in the UK have undergone a dramatic shift, and the impact is deeply personal. Until recently, British citizens seeking to bring their foreign spouse to the UK had to demonstrate they could support them without relying on public assistance. That requirement, though challenging for many, has now been raised significantly. The government has introduced a staged increase in the minimum income threshold, beginning with a jump to £29,000, and with plans to eventually align it with the skilled worker visa salary threshold of £38,700. Let's be absolutely clear. This change means that a British citizen born and living in the UK may now be denied the right to live with their spouse simply because their income falls short of a number set by policy. This is not just an immigration technicality, it's a decision that redefines love and partnership through the lens of income. In effect, this policy is telling thousands of British nationals, if you're not earning enough, you're not eligible to have a relationship with someone from abroad. It transforms the concept of family life from a basic right into a luxury for the financially privileged. It has forced many into emotional and geographical exile, torn between staying in their country and staying with the person they love. This is no longer just immigration law, it's a policy that actively splits families apart. Now, let's shift our focus to the final stages of the immigration journey: indefinite leave to remain (ILR) and British citizenship. For those who've built a life in the UK over many years, paying taxes, integrating into society, and following every rule, the end goal has always been permanent settlement. But even that, now, appears increasingly uncertain. The government is signaling a much stricter approach. Discussions are underway around extending the minimum residency period required for settlement. The traditional 5-year route to ILR, foundation of UK immigration, may soon no longer apply to all categories, and the criteria for citizenship, that too is tightening. The good character requirement is now being enforced with more rigidity than ever. Issues from the distant past, even those that might seem minor or irrelevant, can now derail an application entirely. For many, the pathway to citizenship feels less like a reward for contribution and more like another obstacle course. Then there's the life in the UK test, long criticized for its obscure, trivia-like questions. Instead of measuring cultural understanding or community involvement, it tests rote memory. The process, which should represent the final step in becoming part of the British community, now feels more like a final exam with high stakes and little room for error. All of this creates a growing feeling of insecurity, even for those who've called the UK home for a decade or more. It's as if permanent status is no longer earned, it's constantly reevaluated. When viewed collectively, these shifts paint a stark picture. The UK is moving away from a broad, skills-driven immigration model to one based largely on income and immediate economic value. It's no longer about the cultural contributions or long-term potential of an individual. The focus is now squarely on how much you earn and how much tax you can pay. This approach also places less emphasis on family unity, viewing dependents not as part of a stable household, but rather as economic liabilities for anyone considering a future in the UK. The message is sobering. Be prepared to meet stricter financial requirements, face more bureaucracy, and walk a longer, more uncertain path toward long-term security. The UK remains a country of opportunity, but those opportunities are now wrapped in layers of financial conditions and administrative barriers that are higher than ever before. And so the question for anyone looking to the UK is no longer simply, am I qualified? It is increasingly becoming, am I wealthy enough to qualify?